We can readily understand how man first conceived of a science of medicine. He suffered physically, and therefore sought a method to heal himself. But how did man happen to try to find out about God? The question gives scope for profound reflection. 3 aspects of nature. Worship of God in prehistoric times began through man's fear of the various forces of nature. When it rained excessively, floods killed many people. Awed, man thought of the rain and wind and other natural forces as gods. Later on, human beings realized that nature operates in 3 ways: creative, preservative, and dissolutive. A wave rising out of the ocean exemplifies the creative state. Staying for a moment on the sea breast, it is in the preservative state, and sinking back into the deep, it passes through the dissolutive state. Just as Jesus beheld the universal force of evil personified in Satan, so the great rishis beheld the universal forces of creation, preservation, and dissolution personified in definite forms. The sages of old named them Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer. These primal powers were created as projections of the unmanifested spirit to unfold his infinite drama of creation, while he, as God beyond creation, remains ever hidden behind their consciousness. In times of cosmic dissolution, all creation and its vast activating forces dissolve back into spirit. There they rest until called upon again by the great director to reenact their roles. Therefore, it seemed reasonable to conclude that this whole universe must have been created out of ideas. This led to the concept that everything must have existed first as an idea. Someone had to create that first idea or cosmic plan. Thus, through the analogy of the law of cause and effect, intelligent men reasoned that there must be a supreme cause. Science has learned that all matter is made of invisible building blocks, electrons and protons, just as a house is built of bricks. But nobody can tell why some electrons and protons become wood, and others become human bone, and so on. What intelligence guides them? This line of questioning gives room for God in even the material scientists' theories about the nature of the phenomenal worlds. The sages of India say that everything proceeds from and goes back into its source. God. Evidence of order and harmony is everywhere perceiving that every human being is a compound of matter and mind. The earliest Western thinkers believed that 2 independent forces existed: nature and mind. Later, they began asking themselves, why is everything in nature arranged in a particular way? Why isn't one of man's arms longer than the other? Why don't stars and planets collide? Everywhere we see evidence of order and harmony in the universe. They concluded that mind and matter could not be both separate and sovereign. A single intelligence must govern all. This conclusion naturally led to the idea that there is just one God, who is both the cause and matter, and the intelligence within and behind it. One who attains the ultimate wisdom realizes that everything is spirit, in essence, though hidden in manifestation. If you had the perception, you would see God in everything. Then the question is, how did seekers first find him? As the beginning step, they closed their eyes to shut out immediate contact with the world and matter, so they could concentrate more fully on discovering the intelligence behind it. They reasoned that they could not behold God's presence in nature through the ordinary perceptions of the 5 senses. So they began to try to feel him within themselves by deeper and deeper concentration. They eventually discovered how to shut off all five senses, thus temporarily doing away entirely with the consciousness of matter. The inner world of the spirit began to open up. To those great ones of ancient India, who undeviatingly persisted in these inner investigations, God finally revealed himself. Devotion and right activity. Attract God's attention. Thus, the saints gradually began to convert their conceptions of God into perceptions of Him. That is what you must do also, if you would know Him. You don't stay long enough at your prayers. First, you must have a right concept of God, a definite idea through which you can form a relationship with Him, and then you must meditate. And pray until that mental conception becomes changed into actual perception. Then you will know Him. If you persist, the Lord will come. The searcher of hearts wants only your sincere love. He is like a little child. Someone may offer him his whole wealth and he doesn't want it. And another cries to him, "O Lord, I love you." Into that devotee's heart he comes running. Don't seek God with any ulterior motive, but pray to Him with devotion, unconditional, one-pointed, steady devotion. When your love for Him is as great as your attachment to your mortal body, He will come to you. In seeking the Lord, activity comes after devotion in importance. Some say, God is power, therefore let us act with power. When you are active in doing good, with the Lord ever uppermost in your mind, you will perceive Him in this way. But there is wrong as well as right activity even in doing good. A zealous churchman, who brings more and more people into his congregation solely to satisfy his own ego, is not going to please God through that activity. To realize the presence of the divine indweller should be the first desire in every heart. It is when you persistently, selflessly, perform every action with love-inspired thoughts of God that He will come to you. Then you realize that you are the ocean of life, which has become the tiny wave of each life. That is the way of knowing the Lord through activity. When, in every action you think of Him before you act, while you are performing the action, and after you have finished it, He will reveal Himself to you. You must work, but let God work through you. This is the best part of devotion. If you are constantly thinking that He is walking through your feet, working through your hands, accomplishing through your will, you will know Him.
In the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, in the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, I will meet Thee, I will touch Thee, I will love Thee, and coax Thee to my altar of peace, and coax Thee to